The other has been against Skyfire, who I don't know who that is. They got a player on their team called Dirty. But yeah, and those are normally fairly close matches. The last time they played Chiefs was obviously with a different iteration of the roster. They won 16-7. So realistically, I like this little... See, this is my favorite one. We're actually in the windows, and we don't get to see this very often because nobody plays Train. But yeah, this is one of those maps where I think the only way we're really going to see Chiefs win it is either they put in a hell of a lot of time to try and make sure that they're prepared for this, which is something they may have done, or if they just get their individuals popping off. Like we can see sometimes, especially on the T side, those very aggressive main takes that almost just rely purely off individual brilliance and nothing more. If they can get the players popping off like they did in the last map, and maybe we still have Ricky missing. As I said, I think it was 13 rounds where he didn't get a kill. Like, that's madness. Like, if that happens again, obviously I'm going to be favoring the Chiefs.
Yeah, it is one of those maps which is so really hard to rely on individuals, so right? Like, even if you are a Simple, I'm not saying Simple hasn't had rounds like that, obviously, but when you're playing in a level like this, even for a play like Simple or Zaiwu, it's not sustainable.
Or a Wild Edit.
Sorry? Or Will Edit, yeah, for that matter. Yeah,
I
miss him, man. I miss Will Edit. It's so much fun. But I do see a world, like looking at a scoreline, yeah, Chiefs obviously haven't played this map that much as the Order have. They've only played it like 4 times the past few months. They've lost to Order very convincingly 16-7. They've lost to Avant 16-12. But the thing here is, what I can glean from this, especially with the fact that I believe a few of these games were played with stand-in, either Yam or someone else standing in for Vexite, is the fact that they can play this map. It's not like they're completely clueless about it. They can play this map. But I do want to go back to the veto where I'm like, what if that banned out Train? By far the best map for Order. What if you banned out Train? And it could have been any other map. It could have been Dust 2. It could have been New coming out. Sorry, Dust 2 was already played out. Sorry. It could be Inferno. It could be New coming in. It could be, I don't know, even Mirage. And I feel like Chiefs would have a better chance in that map, right? This could have been a 2-0. But I have to agree with you. The stats don't usually lie. It should still be the map going the way of Order.
It does make me think that there might be some sort of plan here for the Chiefs. Like, as you said, like it might make a little bit more sense to head in towards something like a Vertigo if it would be picked into. But I don't know. I think that there must be something that they've been working on. Maybe not being willing to ban out Train or maybe not being willing to pick Train just yet because they're not quite prepared for it. I do like, even though 2D might be out of the tournament, he's still giving us some wonderful little pieces of insight. He's just tweeted, Apoc better be counting his lucky stars that he's only playing against Order today and not 2D and Co. He's taken that quote from PGL and just made that his thing now. Like, his team name is now 2D and Co.
God damn it. I do enjoy the like they have their own little memes, like the entire like Moop just straight up lying to us, saying Jimmy's wife left him. I looked bad at that clip. I'm like, I saw my reaction. That was a genuine reaction. I'm like, wait, what? And I suddenly feel so bad. And then later, I think it was you or Mitch, was like, oh yeah, just 19 years. I'm like, there's no way you get married and get like left when you're 19. It can happen. I don't think so. Anyway, here we go. It is going to be the Train, and it is going to be the Glock Train, but Afternoon Apoc, they shut it down. Aggression from the CTs early on, and that's the bomb dropped at their feet. I do like how they fall back. Soju, why does he do this? He did this in Dust 2 as well. Your teammates are so low. You have the bomb in your control. There's no need to run out like a madman. I guess he was just trying to clear out Ivy, but at that point, I just kind of like group up with my teammates and try and figure out how to play the remainder of the round. Instead, he dies and leaves it a 2v3, although favoring the CT side.
It's gonna be rough. Already 1 kill back into the favor of the T's. I would almost bank on them winning it at this point. And with Ricky finding another one, it's left all onto Zeph. First kill does come up, and actually Ustillo's fairly far behind. Goes for the peek in. The spam shots don't work out, and Zeph is going to keep this one alive. A little bit lucky for Chiefs. Like, that sort of position onto the bomb really didn't work out too well for them, but luckily this man is still alive and kicking. 30 kills in the first map. He's off to a good start here as well.
He is indeed, and I like the aggression from Chiefs over here. You know, they're like, all right, this is a map where everyone would expect Order to win. Let's not make it easy for them. Let's just get into their face. Let's make them feel very uncomfortable about it. Again, Zeph being the hero of the round. 1v2 clutch makes it look pretty easy. No bomb planted, no bomb down. Order just with the one deagle bot. That's it. They have nothing else being purchased. The Glocks and these MP9s are gonna have a pretty gonna have a field day just farming up some cash.
Yeah, we're going to be able to bring in the AKs in the next round, of course. So the main goal here, any kills in a bomb plant. That's basically all you can ask for. Ricky, with the extra kills he got in the last round, has invested into a deagle, which at least gives them a slightly better chance at an opener. Taking this one very slow though, maybe waiting for some of that extra utility to be expended. Although it may sound a little bit silly, it does make things quite a bit more costly. If you have to rebuy an incendiary, that's an extra $600. Extra smoke, $300. The flashbangs, $200. Like, it all adds up, especially when you consider this to be somewhat of a bonus round. It means if you can even win the next one cleanly, you've forced so many rebuys in terms of utility that it can actually work out very well for you. So playing things slow in these sort of rounds, although it's very common, and I will admit I'm very much guilty of this myself, to just want to get that round over and done with. To actually wait for the first, say, 30, 40 seconds, although boring, probably the smart thing to do.
Boring is good, Tom. I'm a fan of boring Counter-Strike. I was a big fan of the most boring team in the world, Astralis, with their boring strats and a boring Counter-Strike. Because, you know what? I'm old school. I like percentage CS. I like when teams win based off not making mistakes, not giving chances, right? Yes, I do enjoy my occasional game of Asian Counter-Strike where nothing makes sense and everyone's aimbotting. You know, that's also fun once in a while, not all the time. And this time around, it's kind of unfortunate that 3 of the kills went the way of Zeph, who, or was it Apoc that I forget? I think it was Zeph who had the FAMAS, so no bonus money. But it is a bonus round kind of with Chiefs. The MP9's not getting upgraded, which is surprising that they've left no one in Pop Dog, right? You'd rather have, you might even have two CDs playing towards Pop Dog with his MP9s, take advantage of the close range duels. Instead, they're going to have 4 players outside. Pretty aggressive posturing, though. 2 players pushed up towards mid. That could potentially catch Order. I don't think it should catch him off guard, but it's going to make life a little uncomfortable for them. Oh, Apoc! What? Did you see that little flick up? Oh, this guy is sick at times.
No, that's the thing. I don't think... I think my eyes must be in, like, 1 hertz or something. Because on my... for me, like, I was looking at that and I went... That looked like he just shot him in the chest. Too quick. He's too quick for me. Can't even blame my monitor. As maybe, you know what? I need that new 360 hertz monitor. Then I would have seen it.
I don't think my PC can even hit 360 hertz.
No, really.
I'm sorry, FPS. I'm sorry. Oh, off new. His feet are getting tickled, Tom. And he will fall back. Molotov going to force him. Oh, this sneak in from Mustillo is going to go for the lobster play. They are completely unaware as to where he might be. That's a mistake. That is a huge mistake from the side of Chiefs. You see the smoke, and you're not expecting a player sneaking on out. That's massive. At least a reply, well, does come in. Zeph finds one. It's a 3v3. Basilo's still coming in from the backlines. He's aware of a player right behind him. Ooh. It's going to be Zeph. What a peek! And now Offnu comes walking out straight to his death, and it's all in the hands of Zeph. 1v2. Bomb down. He knows where one player is. He has an inkling where the second is as well. He's got a kit to work with, Tom, but he's going to expect... He spots the feed out, but Alistair white swings and just rips his head off. That was a huge run from Masilo, but I feel like that was Chiefs kind of... I don't know. Comms are off?
Bonus
something?
Round.
Yeah, but still... I'm not a fan of how they allowed Masilo out all the way back towards 1.6 and gets that free opening kill.
But that's the problem as well. I feel like this is one of those maps where if you give, especially someone like Ustillo, that much space, you're done out here. Like, it's just not going to go well. That's something that we see a lot of the time with more experienced players. As I said before, like someone like Az is always my favorite player to watch in matches because he gets into positions that should never be allowed. And I think a lot of the time that does come down to experience. I think Hunter is another one who's very, very good at doing that. And of course, well, Art, but he doesn't do it as a sneakily, I guess you could say. Zeph looks like he's trying to be the hero in some of these rounds. That's really aggressive play. And Well, Order just passively waiting for these sort of pushes in a round where you have a lot of pieces missing, no utility. I can kind of understand it, but in all honesty, Chiefs have actually got a fair amount of nades, so you don't really be needing those sort of risks this early in the match.
When you have 37 kills in total in, like 2 maps, with the second map just being 3 rounds in, I guess you're allowed to feel a little confident, but I do agree with you. That was unnecessary, the amount of utility they have. In Order, they switch things up a little bit. They have still once more on the lurk, which is interesting because usually we see Ricky doing that play, going for those plays, being the aggro lurk, but it still is being a little bit more of a passive lurk. And it's going to be hit coming into its inner. Use up a bit of Molotovs and smokes. I love the minimap showing whose smoke is whose. That's brilliant. A little bit of a change for a little bit of the...
I want purple smokes. Just for me. Tom. Just when I throw a smoke.
Okay.
That's coming soon. Did you know that they're going to be? It's going to be a new thing that you can get in cases. Is colored smokes.
And I know you're kidding. I would like some purple haze as well, but let's not give Valve any ideas.
What? They've never had any problems with their smokes before. Why would it be a risk?
True. Hey Valve, we're having a lot of issues in Counter-Strike.
There was a guy who already got the upgrade though. Do you remember the guy who got the see-through smokes? Like that was a really good purchase that people had.
That was nice. And even the StatTrak music kits, I think that's the best. I remember like I think it was someone on HLTV Reddit where he just memed is like, yeah, sure, what next when they release music kits? He's like, what's next? StatTrak music kits, and Valve said, huh. That's a good idea.
I still remember like Starladder with the gloves, the team gloves, and it was like no, that's a terrible idea. Valve were like, no, we're not really a big fan of this. And then like a few months later, gloves, buy them now. It's like, oh yeah, wonder where you got that idea from.
I would be so annoyed and tilted with Starladder. I do believe they were.
Have you heard about? So you know the Nintendo Battle Royale thing that they have. Have you seen that? The Mario thing, where it's basically you all play like the same Mario game at the same time, and if you are like the weakest link, you get eliminated. They've released that recently, and that was basically a game that someone made online, and they copyright strike them to get it deleted, and then made it themselves. The best business ideas sometimes aren't your own. You just need the rights.
I mean, Valve at least didn't do something that nasty. Like when Counter-Strike came out, right? They literally just bought the rights directly and even hired the
that's what Apple do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they didn't make Siri. They didn't make that. That was just a company. They just went, oh, that's cool. Price. Here you go. Yeah.
Well, how much is that? How much are you selling for? $100? Well, here's $2,000, and we're gonna call it the Smack, the Apple, whatever. I find it very interesting how we do have a player dropping out for Chiefs. So right now, and we had 4 players saving as well. So it's going to be a buy versus buy. We're just waiting for the player to join back in. But in the meantime, I find it very interesting about fandoms in general, right? Like how, let's say, Marvel fans, oh my god, DC sucks, and DC fans like, oh, Marvel, it's so kid friendly, you don't like it, it's boring. And you have Apple fans and Android fans. And honestly, for me, I'm like, why are you denying yourself the best of both worlds? Just enjoy both, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do you get so annoyed with other people?
Never really cared, like especially when it's like, because I'm a big like fan of like all the superhero movies and stuff. But it's like I'm never gonna be like, oh yeah, Marvel, and then like because of that I won't watch The Dark Knight. Like that would just ruin films for myself. Like there are definitely like films within those series that I don't like for sure. There's ones where I'm like, eh. Like I've never. Like obviously the sort of Avengers is probably the pinnacle, whereas when I was watching like the latest like Justice League film, I was like,
it was kind of bad. It was pretty terrible.
Well, also like for me personally, Superman is the laziest hero ever created. It's like the dude just went, he can do everything. It's like, then how do we beat him?
So that's the biggest mistake. No, that's the biggest mistake when it comes to like the adaptations and people's perceptions of Superman is when he came out. And by the way, the entire Kryptonite thing was created by the radio show, right? And I think in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, he became like a god, like just unstoppable. So they kind of toned him down a little bit. But the thing about Superman, which needs to be highlighted in the movies a little bit more, It's not about how powerful he is. Everyone knows he's powerful, but it's more about how human he is compared to all the other characters, right? And they just, but they're like, no, let's make it grim dark. I'm like, but that's not how you portray Superman. There's a comic called All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison. A must read. I think they made a DC animated movie about it as well, which is fantastic. The DC animated universe, I feel, is great. It's a must read. It is, I feel like, the Superman story. One of the best ever written. But anyway, screw comics. Just some weeb nerd stuff. We don't talk about that, Tom. We're too
you are a weeb nerd.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're too badass. We're just like all-in gangster metalhead in this. But here we go. Player is back. We're jumping straight back in. Scores are tied. As Order, who's in the first couple of rounds, they strike back. A little bit of aggression from the CTs, not quite panning out. This I like, though. The MP9 coming in towards Pop Dog. Zeph. This is a good position for him to be in. And they have a little bit of posturing from Chiefs towards the Ivy area as well. They're not allowing Order to really get much control. Soju. Oh, that was scary. They're still firing off bullets as to his exact position a couple of seconds back. Order taking his sweet time, just feeling it out, setting up the smokes, and looks like it's going to be hit towards outer and outer take, which could go the way of Chiefs, considering how many players there are waiting outside.
Gonna have a fast flank as well with the Pop Dog player still waiting patiently. Of course, there's still some weaponry pieces missing here. So it's not like this is just going to be a clean-cut take. And as I said, a lot of the time when you see these bursts out of A main, it can be very, very difficult to hold. Speaking of holding, though, the Chiefs have held onto an awful lot of utility. The spam through the smoke does a hell of a lot of damage to Jarabi. He's just going to continue pushing. Alistair with a lightning-fast trade at least keeps things even. Zeph, though, is still causing them problems. They haven't managed to clear this player in the backlines. They're still struggling to do it. Eventually, Ricky gets the job done, but both with him and Alistair tagged low, this could become quite tough. Timing could be an issue, though, as Ustilla's already going to pick off one more, leaving it all onto Ofnu, the B-site rotator, the only man who was on the other side of the map, maybe questioning what has happened here for his teammates. If he gets this kill, he delays it. He tries to wait as long as possible. He even gets the kill on Ustilla, but Ricky is fast enough to trade. That was far too close for my liking, Blair, but Order do get it over the line.
Considering they actually walked out to like a 4-stack, we had even that little sneaky play from Zeph, and just getting the timing right, pushing out from Pop Dog. I'm actually surprised he just got one kill. I feel like he should have won this duel against Ricky, but good recovery, I feel like, from Order, and valiant effort from Offner. This guy is just a beast, just the timing working out for Ricky. 3-2, and they finally forced Chiefs to go for an eco. 3-2, your map pick. That's a pretty good start for Order, considering they lost the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, and this is still the map, although we were talking to Mitch, of course, Mitch Man, statistics man, about how Nuke seems to come
name? Mitch Man.
Yeah, it's not a very good one, but you know,
it's terrible.
He's not a very good superhero. But we talk about how the higher the level of Counter-Strike seems to go, Train becomes then that tough map to play on the T side. A lot of the time, the CT side is just a rock that needs to be broken down, and already being off to a good start is a very positive sign for Order. The other thing that interests me, I don't know if you make the same sort of comparisons, but a lot of the time the B-site defender of Dust 2 similarly crosses over to the B-site defender of Train. Like, you have that rock of your team who a lot of the time tries to stay in similar positions. It does change on this map, and to me it actually makes a lot of sense, because Ofnu, we've seen, is a king of the multi-frag, also seems to have some pretty stellar decision making. So the idea of him being on the B side is actually something that excites me quite a bit.
Oh yeah, indeed. And the B bomb side CD player usually, I mean, there are of course like some exceptions to the rule, but usually you have your most experienced players playing that bomb side, right? It requires a lot of decision making. It's not just about shutting things down. It's about decision making as to how to use your utility, how much do you retain, are you going to get faked out by the T's, how long can you stay alive, how much space can you create. So much responsibility for that player, and yeah, you usually leave your best player there. Right now for the side of Chiefs, I know it's still early days, and that was an eco round, and oh, okay, this is interesting. Double op setup, you don't see this that often from the side of Chiefs. It's going to be Soju wielding the second AWP. And APOC looking to make contact. He should win this duel, but oh my lord, that was brilliant! That was beautiful. Alistair with a little bit of a shoulder peek, and then Ricky from above just decapitates the head of APOC. That now Ofnu blinded and spotted. But can he get the timing right? 1-2. That's all he's good for, but he's done the job, making it very possible for this retake to take place as a bomb will get planted, but Alistair is still alive from above.
Yeah, I think Ricky thinks he's got him covered, though. And he didn't at all. That's a bit of a misplay in their crossfire, as Ricky was almost certain this was going to be a very easy hold for him. And looking like they're going to try and retrieve both AWPs, which, well, very, very common when it comes to Train. We are now going to see a 4-3. Of course, for Chiefs here, they really need to start stringing some rounds together. This can't just be a one and done.
Oh, indeed. But I just love how great that was from Order, the way they just dismantled APOC.'s AWP towards the upper brown halls. But then again, Ofnu, this guy has just been fantastic, right? I mean, he might not necessarily win you the rounds all the time, but so impactful. It's great to see the kind of the veteran in this team being so very consistent, showing the young ones how it's done. Of course, for the side of Order, they're going to have no trouble buying back in. The only difference being no AWP this time around from Alistair. He could have gone for one if he wanted to. And APOC, very, very aggressive plays. A rattle off a shot and fall on back. And might just be falling back towards Outer. There is Ofnu. Like we said, veteran, the most experienced player in this team, given the responsibility of shutting down this lower bomb site. In a bomb site, rather.
Plenty of time to play with. Again, though, we are seeing Chiefs hold on to a lot of their utility. It's a very common thing for teams to almost just blow their load all over that A main position in the early portions of the round. Just like, okay, I've thrown 2 Molotovs, a lot of HEs, a smoke, and they haven't got through it. It's like, well, they're everywhere else on the map now, but congratulations. This has been a part of Chiefs positioning, though, that I haven't particularly liked. Now, this flank isn't actually going to benefit them at all. The push has already made its way in. Ofnu again, though. As said, he always seems to be good for 2. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. Vexite will be there with 1 on the rotation, and now that flank continues to come in, but it could be a bit of an issue. The flank on the flanker. Perfect positioning from Ustilo. That's the freebie. However, with Soju winning the battle with the AWP, he's now going to be wary. The peak going to be coming out from above. He doesn't manage to connect the shot. And look at the time. Under 15 seconds. In fact, now under 10. And he's even going to nail the shot. He didn't even need to be aggressive in that position. But this man has been feeling confident today.
Yeah. But again, I'm going to point this one out for Order. Sure, you lose 2 rounds back-to-back. You still take away so many guns, right? That was a 1v1. The previous round was a 2v1. They have been losing a lot of players, as Mr. Swift Eyes, rather. 36% accuracy. And usually we don't see him with the AWP. Ryan is putting up a pretty decent job.
I love how you read that as like Swifty as.
No, I said Swifty Eyes.
Yeah, but then you've just added extra letters. So
I did add an extra letter. I tend to do that at times, Tom. Adding extra stuff which people don't need.
Swifty eyes sounds like a massive insult. Like, you got swifty eyes. So, what does that even mean?
What'd you say? What do you mean? Wait, what is that? I saw some disembodied hands there for a second. Yes, there are on the left-hand side. Did you see that? There's some ghost arms.
People do always say I could use an extra pair of hands, so, you know, that might be good for the Chiefs.
For what, Tom? For what?
Plenty of things, you know. I'd probably be...
No. That no could have been for one of the many things we've been just rambling on about. So I don't know for what that was, but anyway.
Probably about Superman being a good hero.
Listen, I'll fight you. I like the force buy from Order. They know that the money is still in quite shambled for Chiefs. And yeah, if they somehow manage to break this or force Chiefs to go for the save, it's going to be terrible for the side of Chiefs. Already 4-4 is definitely favoring Order, if you ask me. It's one of those maps, right? It's one of those maps if...
How's Soju here?
What?
Look at where Soju is on the map.
Yeah. But the thing is, no one's rotating off based off his information. I mean, they have 2 players to Utsina, so I guess they're still expecting maybe a full outer take. But now it's not spotted anyone out. It's about time for them to fall on back. That's whiffy. That's whiffy from Offnu. Rare to see that, but Zeph is good for 2, and he's looking for the 3rd player as well, and he's got not finding Ustillo. Good for the trade, and Valiant is spinning around like a top, and he's gonna find 2 kills with the AWP, leaving it all in the very capable hands of APOC Dud, but it's gonna be impossible.
What
Valiant with the quad kill. What was that from Order?
But that's the thing, he's not a man that we ever really would consider AWPing. Like, you have to go, okay, you've got Alistair, he's the man that we always are going to tend to have the AWP, and then it's normally Ricky, who in a lot of past teams was the AWPer for the squad. This round, he bought it glass cannon. Bear that in mind. And then he just wrecked absolutely everybody. A 4K off the back of the AWP. Alistair has to know that if he does have a poor performance, he might be losing his mantle to this man. Because this is a really sick round. Great positioning, clinical, and exactly what you want to be seeing from a prominent AWPer.
I love how he also tosses his AWP away to Alistair. Like, well, yeah, here we go.
I'm out. Drop the mic.
Yeah, I'm out. Just take the AWP. Try that for size. But what Order have achieved is the fact that this was the worrying thing, right? And which is why I like the force spam. Like, if they can somehow do some damage, it's going to hurt Chiefs. They've done more than that. They've completely, utterly wrecked the economy of Chiefs. And with that, even when they go for the buy the next round, Tom, I think Zeph can purchase an AWP, but it's going to be a glass cannon. It's still going to be rough. They have to decide, do we go for the rifles, like Kevlar? They have to kind of like balance it out. Maybe some FAMASs coming out, maybe some SMGs, shotgun perhaps, just so they have the extra utility. Or if they just go for the full commit with the rifles, because if they do go for the full commit with the rifles, it is going to be a lack of utility. Zeph finds a kill on the Gyra, but that's going to be the tell. Gyra's like, yeah, at least 3 or 4 players outside. So immediate hit to Utsina, and it's going to be the round here for Order. But I'm starting to worry for Chiefs here. It's not looking good. 6-4
yeah.
T-side, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, that's the position that you never really want to find yourself in. And sure, we've seen some pretty decent map with this sort of heavier as a CT side favor. So I think it's going to be a very rough comeback. And if they do, I think they need to start it pretty much immediately. This can't be like another couple of rounds on the board for Order, because they've already got more than enough. Of course, this is what we expected coming into this map, but when you watch a team do so well in the last one, you always have that sort of hope that, okay, now they're going to come into this one and show what they've got. But Order have proven that this is why a lot of teams don't play them on this map. Like, you have to bear in mind that even the likes of like Renegades don't really play it. It's something that I guess it's just not really worth it for them when you have a team like Order who are very, very good at it. Avant as well are very, very good at it. So it works.
It does work indeed. And it is worrying. The thing for Chiefs is the way they're winning these rounds is either coming down to 1v1s or just as aggression. The problem for me is, like, for example, the previous round, I mean, not the previous one, the round prior to that, Shadow Spotted. That's what done for. Yeah. These are things you should know, right? You should be aware of that. But good replies back. The Vex and Napalm done. Valiance. Oh, the Molotov. Ooh, the timing of that smoke. That is perfection from the CD side. Great work. Bomb is spotted out as well. And now this... Oh, okay, Offnu. That is very, very, very ballsy. Maybe a little unnecessary, but hey, you know what? If it's working out, it's working out.
No way. Oh, you still actually expected it. Using the dome, using his crystal ball. Unfortunately, he didn't foresee his own death. Gerard, this is all about damage. Even a kill or 2 here would be great to try and hurt the economy. Offnu actually going to continue his push. I like the fact that he falls back. Completely unnecessary. Doesn't need to take the risk. 45 seconds for Gerard to play with. And I'll be honest, I don't really see a way that he wins the round. But as said, if he can even drop an extra gun, force some extra rebuys, it would be a decent position. The only thing is the money for Order actually isn't great.
Does it really matter though? Well, that's the thing. Like, like these half buys, the way they've been able to wreck Chiefs, it just seems like rather than they go for these slow-paced approach, I want to see them go for the inner bomb side again, like a fast hit. I know Ofnu is quite good at holding on to it, but I still see a lot of hold in the way they're kind of like going for the retakes and whatnot. This was good though. This is a good reaction from Chiefs considering the loss of player early on.
Well, 6-5 and a 9-6 half on train. If they can bring it back, or even an 8-7, it's workable. It's just if it goes back the other direction again, Ofnu going to be getting aggressive here. Now, in a round where you might expect for their money to be a little bit lower, this might be a bit of an oversight for him. It seems somewhat unnecessary, and yeah, I don't know if he misread the situation with their economy, but now this buy goes from being pretty much just a few pistols to now an AK-47. They can give that over to Gerard, give it over to Valiants, who are both with Kevlar, and okay, Zeph's just going to play on the edge of the smoke. That's fine. That's something quite common to try and catch players out as they go rotating away. Alistair actually keeping the AK. I wonder if that's something that he will continue to do, or if he is just waiting for the right moment.
They're going to peek him together. Oh, this is smart from Soju. Yep. Just smoke. Forced him to take a fight. Flashback's going to pop out. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Double flash, and he's going to get taken down. Brilliant start from Order. This is looking grim, Tom. They've invested like virtually nothing, and now they have 2 rifles, but the lineup is massive for Vexite. He finds 1, finds 2, still holding the line. Triple kill for Vexite, and he's not going to get the quad kill, unfortunately. But this is what I'm going to point out. For Order, even if they don't win the round, it doesn't matter. Look at the money for Chiefs.
Oh, that got too close. That was a little bit close.
But look at the money.
Yeah, I actually took Vexite to sort of save them there. Of course, for Chiefs, they're still going to have a purchase. So I guess if we're looking at this as they have to win every single round for us to consider this a good half, then I guess it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, you're right. If this next one goes the way of Order, they almost have the half guaranteed with how much damage they've been able to do over the last few rounds. And I'm kind of hoping for Chiefs' sake that these are sort of the teething issues within their CT side. Like, okay, we've just got back on the board. A few of our players aren't quite up there just yet, but now we've won a couple of rounds in a row. We can start to gain in confidence. The other thing as well, though, is I still fear that if we do just see Order go back to that B site, they'll have it no problems. I haven't been particularly convinced, even with Ofnu being able to get 2 kills most times. Zeph, oh, okay. He gets away with it this time for a moment.
That's like, if you have your teammate playing mid like that, why isn't anyone holding towards Pop Dog? Either inside or waiting towards E-Box, just, you know, having a line of sight there or smoking it off something. That's just fundamental 101 of how to play train CD side. And you can clearly say, I don't want to be too harsh on Chiefs because clearly they're not that well versed in this map. They, you know, it's a map where they don't really have that great a win record, like 50% of 4 maps played, but you know, they do play it, and that's some basics over there, which is kind of unfortunate. But here we go. Inner hit going to be coming out again, and it's going to be APOC Dud, who's going to be tested. Timing is everything. Molotov comes in. He misses the shot. He's so lucky to stay alive, and APOC Dud at least burns a player. Helped out by Ofnu's damage being dealt there. They still get the bomb down. Retake on, and all 3 players heading in from the CD spawn area from the back of the bomb site.
Where's the bomb going?
Why is the bomb pushing?
They're just going to fight this. Yeah, they're just going to try and fight this. They've given APOC Dud a chance, and look at where the bomb is. 15 seconds. Ricky's going to have to try and push it back into a better position. I think this is going to end just off the kills alone, and Ricky, nice shot from him. He's looking much better in this map, already overtaking his kill tally from the previous, making it into double digits. And, well, we mentioned it. Money screwed now.
Yeah, that's just rough. A weird decision from Order to just push that. I felt like that could have gotten very scary. If APOC had managed to land a headshot onto Ricky, now it's a 1v1. And yes, his position is compromised at 10 seconds. You can just play around, just keep playing the delay game, you know? Nice work from Ricky to just playing the headshot angle, making it so hard for the op to win that duel. As we do see Chiefs, a little bit of attack timeout. They're going to go for the save. Can't really blame them. They want to buy into the final round of this first half. But Oda, 7-6. Even back when they'd won like 5 rounds, I'm like, yeah, they're going to be feeling happy. But this should be round number 8. And I feel like that's a win condition almost met, Tom. Especially if Trainasia is a map which you have picked.
Yeah, no, they're looking very good indeed. Like, there's been a round or two where, okay, maybe again, there's been a few oversight moments that have given it some chances to Chiefs, but I think that it's like, I think I'm gonna make comparisons to when you first sort of watched teams playing Vertigo. The answer to everything was be more aggressive. Like that seems to be the case. It was like, oh, okay, we can't hold this. Let's push down the ramp. Oh, okay, let's just get aggressive in mid and try and take this control. That was always the response, and I think that's what we're seeing from Chiefs in a CT side that they don't look comfortable on. Like, think about the amount of rounds now that Zeph has pushed A main. It's almost all of them. Think about the amount of times we've seen someone push down Ivy, and then consider how many times that they've gained both and still lost the round. Like, that's just not good enough. And Offnu, for example, the round where he pushes aggressively into the B site, it's their only response. They haven't got like other setups, it seems, that work well, at least. And again, sure, pop control being taken, it's a fairly common thing to do, but it's coming across the map. Different players getting aggressive. They're challenging around Ivy. They're looking to try and get into upper B. Offnu this time will be successful, but will it be enough?
Rookie's just unfortunate, right? Like, on certain maps, he's the guy who's going to be the kind of like the aggro lurk, kind of like bait, so to speak, just trying to make a little bit of noise, trying to draw out some utility, trying to draw out a reaction from the CTs. And unfortunately, that rule means that if they are going to counter you, there's no trade possible. You're just going to die on your own. Sure, you're going to gather some information, but because of how far you are, sometimes that information is not going to be that viable either, that useful for your teammates. As this is interesting. They are slowly creeping back towards Zinna. This is something Chiefs might not be expecting, though. They lose a player there, and they're like, yeah, there's no way they're going to be coming back in. But no, that's exactly what they're doing here. All the timing on the nade. That is so smart from Offno. Unfortunately, barely tickles Gyra. And Offno, Shadow not spotted out, but he's doing a lot of damage. He's going to have to drop back down. The peak comes in. He finds one, in fact. And now things are looking good for the CTs. The 4v3, 25 seconds. We need to get on the bomb side. And Zeph with the repositioning, getting a kill. Valiant's ball to steal. He's going to get the bomb down all alone. Tech9 comes out. The CD right there on his head at fixed site. He just playing a game of Mario with a rifle. And Stillo, the lobster, is good for one. But a 1v3 is beyond his reach. And with that, Chiefs, they ended in a pretty respectable scoreline, 8-7. Except if you put into context the fact that it's trained, Tom, it is going to heavily favor Order.
Yeah, for sure. Like going into that second half, I think Chiefs are going to need to get themselves a pistol and build up some serious momentum. It's not out of the question. Like we've seen them on T sides just have that sheer individual brilliance, but you have to hope for Order here. They're going into a map where, as said, it's one where they have a very high percentage win rate. It's not a map that many other teams within this region actually play. In fact, the only other one is Avant, at least in like the top few teams. So realistically, you do have to favor them quite heavily going into their CT side. At the same time, there's definitely been some issues throughout the day. As said, like Ricky had a very poor first map, and even Ustilo wasn't necessarily playing to the best of his ability. We haven't seen those same sort of performances from Alistair either with the AWP, knowing that he can. This pistol round, though, is looking like the classic burst B. As they do set up, there's 2 players ready and waiting, Ustilo being one of them alongside Ricky. And there is a smoke and a kit available for maybe some cheeky antics, and a couple of smokes being set up to go straight into that connector and leave Ustilo out of the action.
Actually going to be peeking in before the smoke blooms, and that's going to be a free frack. Ustilo, but APOC with a trade. Ricky replies back. Now 4v3, favoring Order. Bomb will be planted. He's out of utility. But Zeph with the P250. He is the mini raid boss, Tom, and is making it work.
Yeah, they put a lot of pressure on Zeph, but he seems to relish within it. APOC Dud, is he going to be looking the right way? Turns just as they're about to round the corner. Now Zeph is left with everything to do, and he can't do anything. Soju just trying to buy down the time. He is going to get rid of one. Now just trying to tap the bomb to bait them in, and now they're just going to put somebody on it. He needs to try and deny this defusal. He actually dinged up Ricky, but he doesn't stop the defusal. Just 2 HP. And well, it's enough. A 9th round on the board now for Order, but we get the Force.
That's rough from Soju. Nice attempt from him. That's some rough stuff. Coming very, very close. But Ricky, man's a veteran. Just sticks it. That's why I want to have the smoke at the end there, right? I love the entire counter, which you don't see that often anymore much, because we don't really see too many trains being played nowadays. But like what the T's do in a pistol round, they'll have like 2 nades. So even if the CT smoke off the bomb, just like toss in a couple of nades, and just like he's done for.
Yeah.
Because usually the player with the kit is the guy who doesn't have any Kevlar, right? So the nades will do even more damage. But here we go, force buy, like you predicted, Tom. It's not really working out, though. They've lost a couple of players, and they've barely done any damage at all.
Yeah, I actually quite like that we've seen an investment into pretty much all rifles for Order. They've made the decision that realistically, this is just going to be some long-range battles, high chance of an investment. We don't really need the grenades here. We just need to make sure that we win the duels. Vexite will at least be able to get one, but I think it's too little too late. He's going to be flanked in by Gerard, and it is looking like a 10th round is all but guaranteed. The youngster would have to do something incredible, and this time it's not available. Very good round from Order. Like, that's one where I think even themselves, they would have given like a wiggle room of losing 2, maybe even 3 players, but as long as they get the victory, that's fine. Be up with 4 and all of them with rifles, that's fantastic.
That is indeed, and yeah, that's a worrying thing. You know, you're facing off against a team who likes playing train, and they've already had like 8 rounds to the T side. It's only going to get worse. Like CD side, protocols are going to be ready. The aggression's going to be much more coordinated, and now there's going to be the Eco 4 decided Chiefs. Number of Glocks, 1 P250. I see in the only investment they have. That nade's going to hurt. Oh, that nade's going to hurt real bad. Zef down 25, and this one should be a done deal. Farah having no trouble just picking up the pieces here. You know what? I'm just like mentally just prepping myself for nuke. I feel like this one's done. I hate to call it. I usually don't call it out, especially. But no, it's just the stats. It's just that Order just seem way more comfortable on this map. And I feel like this one's done, and I feel like it's going to go to nuke. But if it does go to nuke, that's when things are going to get spicy, if you ask me. I think it's neither team's best map or most comfortable map. I feel like it's going to be a much more scrappier affair than what we've seen so far in the first 2 games.
I think if Chiefs bring this back, we need the like the with you like saying it's done. I think someone needs to make that.
Fine, sure. But if they don't bring it back, can't really say
and
much.
We get rid of Mitch.
If they don't bring it back, we put you and that's sick. We put you and Jim together and watch the internet just fall apart.
Get the stream banned.
Yeah, it's like, I'm
Ricky.
sorry, like the PGL stream just gets banned by Twitch, and then like
I think they'd take it down themselves. I'll be honest, they'd be like, end my suffering. This round though, I like the re-aggression from Ustillo and Ricky. They combined to bring things back. Gerard in a bit of an off-angle position, but Soju, he's winning those duels. However, not for long. Valiance, Ustillo, they're going to combine to bring it onto just Vexite. The youngster once again, newly turned Sweet 16, trying to win this one out. He's not going to check towards Ivy, and well, Ustillo, he didn't swap his spot. 12th round on the board. The comeback looking less likely by the second. And with a 12-7 scoreline, money, it's not great for the T's.
It's not at all, and that's the thing for Order. Yeah, they lose a couple of players, but just their positioning, and more than positioning, I feel like the timing, the rotations, it's just so very good, and there's no real obvious holes in the defense, right, where you can suddenly be like, get taken out from behind, and you're like, guys, where did it even come from? That actually happened for the side of Chiefs a couple of times. That's something can't really allow to happen on a map like Train. Ulster met with a Molotov. It is, again, a light investment. It's still taking a bit of damage, though, a little bit of a dink. but just a bit of utility, some Kevlar, and some Deagles. Now, that being said, we can do damage. That's one thing we know for sure. It's like Vexite, but Valiant is there, shuts it down. Often at least replies back, but unless Often pulled off something akin to what he did in Dust 2, this one should be done. And there we go. Compared to pretty clean. Valiant's the only casualty. And for Oda, Tom, the money is stabilized. Not just stabilized, it's looking very solid. And they're 3 rounds away from taking it to map number 3.
Yeah, and unless something drastically changes, I think maybe Chiefs are even going to expect map number 3 to be on the cards. It's looking pretty bleak for them here. Not really even seeing the same individual level from a lot of the players. And although there's been a few glimmers of hope, it's not really been anything too pretty, especially since we've gone into this second half. Not a single round won so far in a sea of order. And while Alistair even starting to gain in confidence, very unlucky not to get that opening kill, but Valiant, he's been a force to be reckoned with. Performing well on both maps. The nade even going to dunk in to give him his 22nd kill. I think he got, what, like 24, 25 in the last map as well. So maybe going on to try and be the MVP of the series. Definitely up for it at the moment. APOC and Soju, wow, a 2v5 already. We're only, what, 40 seconds into the round? It's been a rough one.
It was a minute and 30 seconds, and it was a 2v5. I kept an eye on the clock. It was just pure, just a vulgar display of power from Order, as they're looking to just close this one out as quick as possible. Soju throws a smoke, the timing, it's tagged down. Yeah, I don't see them bringing this one back. The 3 players lying in wait, and APOC dud. I mean, the guy's a stud, but this time around, he's gonna be shooting blanks. I don't see him really pulling this one off. It's gonna be 14-7.
Yeah, I almost question if it might just be worth trying to save the AWP. It's not an exciting way to end the round, but with 3,400 coming into your team's accounts, you'll have Zeph with enough, Vexite with enough. In fact, pretty much the whole team will at least have AKs. The AWP is the only thing that might be missing, although Zeph, again, could drop that. 20 seconds left. I don't really think this is worth going for, unless he somehow gets a bomb plant, which if you look at the current positions that are being held, there's no way. He's going to spot out one, though. That's you still at down, but the position of Ricky is just too strong. And yeah, I would have just rather seen the AWP saved.
Well, nothing saved. But they can eke out a buy. It's not the best of buys. We see a little bit of compromise on the weaponry just to have a little bit of extra cash. APOC dud. Taking one for the team, Mac 10 for him, so he can buy the extra utility. 3 Molotovs, 4 smokes, a handful of flashbangs. What do we do with this, though? They haven't really looked very clean or in their executes. Well, I haven't really seen many executes, to be honest. Vexite taking a bit of damage, quite a bit of damage, 56 HP for the man. All 4 players gathering up. Made a bit of noise as well. I'm not going to waste any time. It's going to be a full-fledged execute. However, 2 players lying in wait. It is going to be Ricky and Jyra.
Yeah, their defense has been phenomenal, and they look to try and continue it. As said, because of that AWP not being saved, there's now a Mac 10 in the mix. It does have some opportunities, though, on this B side. Some close-range angles being held. Ricky in one of them. Some counter-utility being expended. The Molotov does at least force Jyra back, and Zeph has managed to get the opener, but they haven't spotted out Ricky. He's having a much better performance on this map, up to 19 kills, and he's given his team a good chance. Zeph is just trying to drag them through, kicking and screaming. He himself has made it to 20. He's going to have to ace the round for them to get the victory, and he does have a chance at a couple of isolated duels. The AWP of Alistair around the connector, and he's got to be careful of Ustillo still coming in on that flank. Now, the bomb is not planted. In fact, it's down on the ground in the default spot, and
look at Alistair.
Realistically, getting it back is going to be a rough one.
That play from Alistair, that's insane. I love it. They know Zeph's inside. They know Silla's coming from behind, so he's definitely not towards Brownhalt. And they're like, you know what? Come back up. Let's not give the 1v1s. Let's peek him together. Oh, he has no idea. Zeph's got no idea. 10 seconds. He's got his ticket somewhere. Clear out all the angles, and it's going to go for the smarter plant. There we go. He goes to the plant. Going to drop one down. Timing is everything. He's going to find none, unfortunately. That was so well played. That 1v2 was just textbook stuff from Ustillo and Alistair. That is brilliant. I have nothing but praise for that. The way they made sure that he wasn't able to find a 1v1s, that he had to face him together. It forced him to kind of like go on like a journey, trying to like gather some information, and he made the right call. It's like, okay, I've checked everywhere. I can't find the player. I know he still is playing towards brown halls. I just checked the lower ramp as well. This is the safest plan I can go for. And with the time not remaining, he had to stick it, and that's when he just pounced on together. Brilliantly played by Order, and with that, they are on map point. 1 round away, Tom. And I do believe, my math checks out, Mitch can correct me if I'm wrong, that have won every round so far on the CD side. 8 rounds in a row.
Yeah, this has been utterly dominant from the side of Order, and yeah, it's a little bit disappointing considering we spoke about this when the veto came through, that it was a risk letting this through. So I was hoping that we'd have something from Chiefs, but it just seems like they wanted to try and have something else going their way. My feed's frozen, so this is all you.
Oh yeah, well, you know what? I'll try to carry you, Tom. It's hard. My shoulders are weak nowadays. But off new, he is going to go for the peak. But Ricky is waiting. And Order, 3 kills away. 3 nails remaining in the coffin of Chiefs on this particular map at the very least. Soju affects out an APOC Dot. APOC Dot with the AWP out. He's got the bomb. They're spread quite thin. Soju towards Ivy. APOC Dot just with it AWP. Just trying to hopefully find a pick towards T mid. Or team main, so rather waiting for a push to take place. But I love the discipline from Order. The CD side has been some textbook stuff, nothing too spectacular. They played it safe, they played it right. They've been able to just shut down this hit. And now, Chiefs using up the final bits of utility they have remaining. They still have a few smokes and flashbangs, but they need to find a pick. They need to get some kills, or else this one's done. This one's done, Tom.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Oh,
I hope the round is amazing.
Your feet's still gone? Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, Gyra... oh, APOC finds 1. This could make things interesting, but he's now left alone. It's a 1v4, 1v... Well, he misses the flick shot, and he is getting hunted down, and Gyra's there, Tom, to seal the deal, finish off the round. Amazing, isn't it?